Welcome to the Rad DudeCast. I'm Greg Stone. I'm here with Brendan Ayer and Anthony DeVito. Today we got a live show for you. We got I forgot it all, man. This is why Brendan's got to bring us in. I forgot the three. I was going to do them all.
Is today live?
No.
I mean, I'm alive.
No, it's not live. Also, I was sitting here poised going, he just took down 6 topics and I saw no pen moving and he's going to rail these off.
Let me tell you,
cocky waiters.
Yeah, let me tell you, I was one of those waiters, but as soon as I got to that kitchen, I would go, what did he look like he wanted? That guy looks like a salad guy. That's a balsamic woman if I've ever seen one. It's a lot of racism based on food-based racism is how I ran at TGI Fridays.
Just Greg walks in the kitchen like, I don't know how to say this, but I'm pretty sure that whole family ordered creamsicles. That can't be right, though, right? Is that right? Do we have those?
He either said a Reuben for Reuben or a Rick for a. Do we have fried chicken? I don't know. He said something. I don't know what it is.
That's going to sound like a dumb question. Do we give an education discount? Your Chili's? Do that.
Let me take a stab at this.
Sure.
Welcome to the Rad DudeCast. As Greg said, he gave you our names. That does not need to be retraced. But we've got some hot topics today, Greg, and not just the store, my friend, not just the store at the mall that only competes with Spencer's. Anthony will be bringing us the 2 types of people in the world.
Well, Hot Topic is a smart biz. Now, before we get going,
I know we can't just screaming through Hot Topic.
Brendan, you bring up a very good point in terms of Hot Topic had the genius of just being in sole competition with Spencer's.
Yeah.
That's it. Nobody else had the gall to be like, we're going to be a superstore that sells silly putty and kink chain necklaces.
Right.
Let me tell you about the Hot Topic. They came in because I worked at the mall when Hot Topic came out. My brother was one of the first Hot Topic employees. Okay, that's not even. Hot Topic came in and they were like, "We're gonna sell. This is what we're gonna sell, right?" And then all the other mall stores were like, big lines at Hot Topic, but we're not jumping on that bandwagon. No one wants those freaks in here. They're just losing money because Sears was running their store like the 1950s. They refused to accept these people, and then Spencer's shows up, and Hot Topic was like, hey, you look kind of cool. And Spencer's went, whoa, 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 we're not in the same game. You're selling band shirts. We're selling dildos, okay?
Yeah.
But we're going to share the black light poster. That's going to be our Venn diagram.
Yeah.
The black light poster.
We'll overlap there on sort of a college dorm room decorations, but you stay out of the sex stuff. We'll stay out of the Pantera shirts.
Hot Topic is like, look, we appreciate it. How about, as a nice gesture, we'll give you some funky belts? And Spencer says, we'll take some funky belts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic Dick's Sporting Goods pro backshop situation where they went, as long as you guys don't sell any line, you're fine.
Do you think there's a Hot Topic somewhere next to a Bass Pro Shop and there's just 2 separate types of people just parking in the same lot, looking at each other like, look at that freak, and everyone going, look at that freak, and then they just go into the stores?
I'll tell you where exactly. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I've ever seen it, where there's people crazy enough to have two swaths of the population coming together in one place.
Dude, that mall, that food court where the Bass Pro Shop people are looking across the table at the Hot Topic people, who are looking across the people at the PacSun people, who are like, we're just surfer dudes, and it's just like there's like a gang fight at any moment. This is a movie.
You win.
It is a low. Yeah.
Well, PacSun is another single competitor institution because
I got an argument for you here, but I want to hear
PacSun was really tried to move in on the Journeys market, and Journeys was a PacSun with just way less stuff. They had about 4 shoes in there, 1 shirt, and they were like, well, there's no one else in the mall doing Billabong, so it's fine. All of a sudden, PacSun comes around, they're fucked because PacSun, deeper store. I
got to argue that. Anthony, if you want to go first, but I got to argue that point at some point.
Yeah, well, my only thing is, to me, there's a direct correlation between PacSun and Hollister. They both sort of played in the same surf skateboard.
I gotta shut you both down here. I gotta start first with the PacSun Journeys thing. Journeys and PacSun are not the same. Well, I guess it could be discovered that the Journeys is the winter's PacSun because they did snowboarding and sneakers. But Hot Topic Journeys was the sneaker store for Hot Topic. They were doing kind of punk rock stuff, snowboard gear. And that's where that moved, right? And then to argue Anthony's point, he's not here for it.
He left.
I'll shut him down.
Completely left. Shut him down. No defense.
Because I was a big mall guy. I worked in the mall most of my life. It's the Hollister, Abercrombie. They were beefing. It wasn't PacSun and Hollister. They were in the same. That was more my people. Hollister were not their people.
Exactly. That's what I say to you. I agree with you I disagree with you on your first point. I think you're only finding the snowboarding stuff in Journeys because that's what you went there for. Because I know Journeys to carry T-shirts, to carry shorts, to try and get a little of the skateboarder vibe, but quite a limited selection. But we can go back and forth all day on that. The bottom line is.
And we will. That's what this episode's about. This is a mall episode I've ever heard.
We're talking mall. We're talking mall talk here on the Rad DudeCast. Go ahead and call in at 1-800-RAD-DUDECast.
This is live
on the mall. But I can agree with you, Greg, on Anthony being completely wrong. That's
wow.
Hollister.
What a shocker from Anthony's perspective.
Well, here's the thing. Greg's right. Hollister was trying to be the kind of lower cost. Hollister wedged itself price point wise in between Abercrombie, below Abercrombie, and above American Eagle. Okay, they were not a counterculture type thing. Hollister, you see a guy with the Hollister shirt. No surfers actually going to Hollister.
And now, in the defense of Anthony, I gotta throw this in the defense of Anthony. He's not going to know about this stuff because he was strictly a Neiman Marcus kid. Okay, at 6th grade, his mom was marching him into Lord and Taylor, Neiman Marcus.
Yeah.
Full Burberry. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're not wrong. I'm a Nordstrom guy through and through. I went down with the ship over at Bergdorf Goodman. You should have seen me. I was over there on the front lines trying to save the store. So yeah, it is true. I don't know too much about the Hollister, Abercrombie, Journeys. I've seen the templates. I'm familiar with the fonts, but I don't know what goes on in there 100%. I want to say sneakers. I want to say ribbons of some sort.
Were you I peg you as a what was it? All for One? Not All for One. It was that store.
And One. All for One is an R&B group.
Yes, not And One, but you definitely were an And One guy. But
yes,
it was that,
Against All Odds.
Against All Odds.
Yes,
that was the mall store.
Yes, because that's how I felt. I embraced the culture.
Yeah.
And Against All Odds, we thrive in this racist country.
Right. Brendan, I don't know if you had All for One in Cleve.
I don't think so. I think that's more of a Jersey specific.
Against All Odds.
We did have Anthony versus the world in our mall.
Against All Odds, this is what they did. They'd sell you a $600 Timberland jacket and also $6 bootleg giant pant. It was like they knew it was like there was really baseline like pants that were super cheap. But I guess homeboy stuff. I don't know what's not racist anymore.
Homeboy stuff. Mike, hit that bell, Mike. Send Greg on timeout.
Yeah. And then they also had but if you go over there, we got a $600 Timbo jacket, and that's all I wanted to say on that.
Yes. No. Against All Odds. Then they rebranded themselves as OW.
Yeah. Or FAO Schwartz. That is the if that doesn't look like FAO Schwartz, I've never seen one.
So for those of you listening to audio only, Mike has pulled up a picture of AAO as Against All Odds has rebranded themselves, although they just wrote Against All Odds right below it. So no need for the AAO. But Greg is 100% right. They just took the F away from the FAO Schwartz sign, added another A, and stole their logo 100%.
Just like my people were stolen from Africa. What's up?
Hell yeah, the Sicilians.
Yeah. I take a claim, a small claim, but I take a morsel if I can. Yes, Against All Odds. I'll tell you how I ran through the mall because this is fun. We'll each do our mall trip.
Sure.
Okay. So usually I went with my mom. Right away, she said, pick out whatever you want in the mall. I'll get it for you. I said, that's not the way. We're going to end up in tremendous credit card debt. But to be nice, to be fair to you, I'll settle on one pair of very flashy sneakers from Foot Action and or Champ Sports and or Foot Locker. If not there, then Finish Line. We'll go in against odds, but I never had the confidence to wear anything from there. I would walk in to absorb some of it from the clothing. And then I would try to deflect that when I walk through the mall and stared at girls.
Right. Can I add to your thing? And this is how I perceive you, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Because I didn't know you when you were a young child, but you to me were a very sneaker based person. So all of your clothes shopping essentially kind of was like, hey, we're at Foot Locker. Give me the Foot Locker clothes, which were the and one type shirts, the workout gear,
standard basketball wear.
Right?
Yes. No, I would shop feet first. And my mom would come back with shirts. And I've said this before, I think shirts that made me look like a Dutch bachelor. And I would always say no. And I would prefer a full jersey and short combination going to school as Charles Barkley.
In cosplay. They should start calling that. That's what that is. You're in cosplay. If you wear the basketball shorts with the jersey, you're just in cosplay.
Complete uniform. Yes. Brendan, give me your trip.
Yep.
I wasn't a big mall guy growing up. I guess my mom didn't really take me shopping at the mall. The one time my mom, I got her to splurge. She was pretty, I guess a little bit stingy not stingy, just not fancy with the clothes, I had nice clothes, but not Saks Fifth Avenue, whatever the lowest department store was in your area. I remember having
Arnie's,
a pair of Arizona jeans.
Oh,
that
right.
was my level. And they were good. They were fine. But it wasn't, she would go for the sale, but I do remember one time convincing her to get me 6th grade, a powder blue knee length University of North Carolina starter jacket.
What's up?
And she was so clear with me. She goes, listen, I'll get you this jacket. It's going to get filthy, and I'm not going to buy you another winter jacket. Do you understand? And I go, it's not going to get filthy. This thing, she goes, you're going to go sledding. You're going to go doing stuff. You don't want a knee-length jacket. And I go, and she goes, but I'm telling you, I won't get you another jacket. And I go, so you're saying I can get this jacket? And she goes, all right. So I got myself a powder blue University of North Carolina basketball parka that went down to my knees.
Was it a pocket in the front?
No, that was the classic starter. That was the classic starter that had a little bit of the elastic on the bottom.
Right,
Those things are sweet. This was more of a half trench coat model that you'd sort of drape over a quarterback's shoulders during a frosty game at Lambeau Field.
It's the kind of jacket you see Bart Starr in.
Yeah. Let me tell you, this powder blue had turned to fucking shit brown.
Of course.
In 1.5 weeks, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't go sledding. You look like an asshole with snow pants on. I tried to tuck it into my snow pants. Biggest mistake of my life, that fucking jacket. But I also got a goldfish at Woolworths one time at the mall.
Man, Woolworth's one of the best.
Mall goldfish.
Mall goldfish. Yeah, man, those motherfuckers had no shame in putting up a wall of goldfish in little plastic cups that half of them were dead. There wasn't even a guy. They waited till the end of the day to clear out the dead ones.
This is before 90% of our audience was alive, because it was barely when we were alive.
Yeah.
Woolworths was like a Sears type store. It was like a low end Target that had some kind of candy bar in the middle of it. They had a bar stool that you can sit, and they'd have a guy give you soda pop and shit. I will argue the reason Woolworths went out of business is because I stole every Star Wars figure that came out in 1999 from them on my way home, because it was on the way home from high school. I went in there with an Adidas jacket that zipped up from the bottom, so I put a fake arm into the pocket, had a real arm under the thing, zipped up from the bottom, stole all the Power of the Force Star Wars figures, and they went out of business shortly after. So I'm pretty sure I brought them down.
I would love to argue with you, Greg, but Woolworths operated on such razor thin margins. It is highly believable that one kid in New Jersey shoplifting 12 Star Wars figures put them over the line.
I mean, I swear to God, when I tell you it was not 12, it was every single one that came out that year. I would go and restock when the new figures would come out, and it was just stealing. And then they went out of business, and it was no big deal. Can I tell you? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
My mom, first of all, about that starter jacket, the pullover one. This is just a random little tidbit of my life that I'm going to give you. That who cares? Sitting in the backseat of my dad's car, I had a Charlotte Hornets one because I swear I was a Hornets fan. That went down on my knees. And I remember, like, when I first started, like, touching myself, I remember, like, I touched myself under the jacket when in the back of my dad's car, and my dad goes, "Hey, what are you doing back there?" And I went, "Hey, what do you mean? What?" Like, I didn't know. I was too young to know how to do an excuse yet. And that's to this day, I have that burn in my memory that it was like, yeah, you were touching your penis in the backseat of the car, and my dad totally saw me. Thank God he didn't pull that out.
It's too tough to do that because they make so much noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shifty. It's a loud material.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with it. I didn't start wearing jeans. I think a lot of people know this too until like senior year of high school. I really thought it was going to be like a big to do. Like everyone was going to be. Nobody even knew I went to high school with him. I thought people were going to be like,
whoa,
you all right,
man?
what's going on with Anthony's wearing jeans these days? But the whoosh, man, you can't in those. Unfortunately, that's the gift and the curse of them in a strip club, I'd say.
One of the first memories I have of you, Anthony, was in that gym. The strip club swoosh. That's gonna get you
straight face with that one.
Well, look, man, I've sat next to you in a bathroom stall at pumps while we fluff ourselves up so that we can come during a lap dance. So no jokes from that one on me. That's the game. Game recognizes game.
I'll tell you what, man, that wasn't me.
Well, like Obi-Wan would say, is the sexual demon had taken me over so much that at that moment you had relinquished being Anthony, and you had become something much darker. So, in some sense of the words, there is no lie there. That's a really, really taken apart.
No, I thought you just paused the podcast to do a poem.
No, I was fucking up. When Obi-Wan says, when Luke goes to Obi-Wan, he's like, "Why'd you not tell me my dad?" And he was like, "Well, when your dad turned to the dark side, he stopped being your dad and then became Darth Vader." So from a certain point of view, I wasn't lying. I'm saying the same about you, which is once your sexual productivity came over and you started rubbing yourself up at a strip club, you no longer were Anthony, and you had become something much darker. So maybe you weren't that guy.
Yeah, someone who, in their words, needs to leave. I don't know their policy. Go ahead, Greg.
Oh, yeah, no. Sorry, I'm a little flying today. I don't mean to be if I'm cutting everybody off or whatever.
It's okay.
I'm a little bit.
Baby, if you got wings, fly. That's what I say.
I got my mall experience. I'd like to. Greg's mall experience. So my mom didn't do a lot of shopping for us. We didn't do a lot of I got a lot of Joe's hand-me-downs. I remember Mike Carnathan was the first kid who I ever saw in like a band shirt, and like he had long hair and he had like big jeans, and I went, "Who let him get long hair? How did this kid get? He's allowed to have." He was in 7th grade. I was like, "How is he allowed to have? Where did you?" I was like, "Mike, where'd you get those big jeans from?" And he was like, "The mall." And I was like, "You went shopping at the fucking mall?" Like that's. And my mom took us like whatever Bradley's or whatever that was. Like we would go like Bradley's or whatever those were. Anyway, first trip to the mall to get clothes. I wanted Jenko jeans because I saw Mike. And my mom was like, "These are too expensive. We can't do this." And I remember being like really bitching about it, being like, come on. Like my mom got them when she didn't have the money. And it was like to this day, I'm like, what a fucking dick I was for forcing my mom to get me these giant jeans so I could have an identity in high school.
I wanted those so bad, Greg. And it's so crazy because looking back, a horrible look, really.
Well, maybe from your eyes, but from my perspective, they made me who I was. And when you're rollerblading, you don't want the taper on the bottom. You want the big ones because it looked cool. It just is like, it was fucking.
I will say
that
that
my people.
Yeah. You look cool rollerblading, and they really had one purpose. You looked like you were really floating, like it did give the effect. You know what I mean? Because I was watching Lord of the Rings last night, and the ring wraiths, man, when they walk in, this will be a very specific.
I'm following it 1,000%. I think most of the people
gotta really know your rings here.
Yeah,
but when the Fellowship, when they walk into the prancing pony, they glide in, man, and it's cool, and it is because they have such flowing clothing.
Well,
I would argue it's because they had Heelys. That's the first people to wear Heelys. Was that where you were going, Brendan?
Well, I was going to say along your lines, what a lot of people don't know, Peter Jackson, one of the greats when it comes to special effects, that whole effect was done using Jinkos and Heelys. That was how the ring wraiths came in. He goes, we got to call 1994. We need some Jinko jeans and we need some Heelys.
Two things I'm jealous of in the world is that I was never in the time of Tinder. Because I had Tita before Tinder and Heelys. I wish that if I was a kid with a wheel on the back of my I had soap shoes, which were the sneakers that had grind plates, and I used to grind these goddamn rails in the high school, and the janitor hated me. I was like, well, you're the dick. He's like, no, I'm the guy who's getting minimum wage to polish these fucking poles that you're fucking up, these rails that you're fucking up.
Also,
man,
he was probably like, and sorry to cut you off, but he was also probably like, why am I the one who's got to be mad at this? I'm just cleaning it up. The school district could be sued for millions of dollars if he should fall. But I'm the only one who gives a fuck. Fuck these teachers.
That's such a good point, man. I never put it together as a kid. I just thought the school wasn't cool.
Totally.
Realizing that they're like, man, we are legally responsible if you hurt your dumbass doing a goddamn soul grind on our property. Meanwhile, I was going, these bunch of squares here. Good, man. Hit him right where it hurts.
Dude, the guy grabbed me once because I had waxed up the steps to skate them. And I was like, dude, man, at least I'm not out there doing drug. And he goes, you know, you're putting wax on steps in the winter. Someone's going to fall and get hurt, not you. And then what? And then what? You're going to feel good about that? And I was like, man, you're making great points, but a blader's got a blade, so I'm sorry. And I just, and I soul grinded that shit.
I also love, hey, at least I'm not out there doing drugs where it's like, yeah, man, don't do that also. Like, what is that? That's not, unrelated argument.
That's the option you got to say. It's like, listen, kids can do one of two things. They can rollerblade or they can do drugs. And you must choose. You must choose.
Out there doing drugs is a great one to do to set the bar for where you're at as a kid in terms of how bad or good you are. Not enough, because as you get older, and this has happened with men in the Me Too movement, and I think it's given a lot of guys been like, hey, well, I'm not Harvey Weinstein, so pretty good deal. But as there's not enough. Problem Child was great because you could really point to a kid and you could go, well, I'm not that red-haired lunatic. But without him, there's really no one to pull from,
Yeah.
Poor Greta Thunberg has set the bar too high for children,
Too high, man.
Way too high.
Greta said that shit too high, man.
Time person of the year. What's that?
And Jimmy Hogg.
And Jimmy Hogg, David Hogg. Jimmy Hogg.
Jimmy Hogg, man, that guy's that's too good of a kid at too young of an age.
Jimmy Hogg is a bar regular at the Great Not Kid.
I used to whenever I would get in trouble for doing drugs, I used to try and use the argument, hey, at least I'm not out there rollerblading. Yeah, never. And
that's rollerbladers would go, Buffangul, at least we're not doing drugs.
Yeah.
But none can we meet, because for you to see me, you'd have to put blades on, and for me to see you, I'd have to do some drugs.
Yeah.
Man, so I got to tell you, one of these moments I had in life. So I worked in the mall. I worked at Sears, to Fortune Offs, which was like a furniture store, then TGI Fridays, and then an ER, right? So I worked pretty much all the stores in the mall. I got this job at Sears because my dad got me the job. And I remember everyone else in that mall, because we'd go to the food court, we'd all be kind of friends, right? And you talk to the Hot Topic kids. My brother worked at Hot Topic, and I was like, why are you guys working at a Hot Topic? And they're like, I'm like, they would make like, minimum wage. And I'm like, you're making minimum wage? And they're like, yeah, but we're getting laid. Like we work in the cool stores where all the cool kids are, and they're all buying cool shirts. You work with 50-year-olds. Like I was at Sears and I was making 40 grand a year at like 16 because I had like an adult job with career salesman. I was working on commission and shit. And then these other kids were making minimum wage, but they were going to house parties. And I just didn't like, one of the dumbest moves in my life was to not realize. And after from Sears, I went to Fort because with my resume, I tried to get a job at PacSun and they were like, I don't know, dude, you got a 401k. Like, you're way over prepared. You can't.
You old,
you're 17. Like, you came here in a certain tie. Yeah.
Get out of here, boomer.
Yeah. They were like, are you my dad's age? I'm like, you're 4 years older than me. And they were like, I don't know, you got a shirt and tie on. No one's ever worn that here ever. So the only store that would hire me was Fortunoff's because all the Sears people would go to Fortunoff's when they would leave. And so I worked in the furniture department with like 90-year-old women would come by and they would be like, does this have stain guard? And I had to learn about stain guard and all this shit. Yeah, so it was crazy. But I was making like, I was in high school like making not only making an insane amount of money, stealing from Sears Sears also went out of business, pretty sure because of us, because in 1 year it was on our label. I think I said this before. The Sears audio department, which I worked on, had a internal theft number, and there's 4 employees there, of $75,000 in 1 year, and that was from 3 people. So, and I'm pretty sure the other 2 weren't stealing.
Yeah, it's like Wall Street in 2008.
Dude, it was crazy. Thank God that place is out of business. Yeah.
We had
an angel.
We had a Best Buy theft ring at our high school of the kids that worked there, and so you could get discount electronics. And we had a North Face coat theft ring. We had those 2 theft rings were the big theft ring.
Ones,
yeah,
North Face is huge. Stuff.
But the guy who was in charge of stealing North Face coats, they eventually busted him because what he would do is he would go to different malls and he would go to like the Nordstrom or wherever, the outside department stores, and he had this method where he would get a coat like very casually and put it under a big round rack, whatever the closest one to the door. Mm-hmm. And then he'd slowly do that without being noticed and get like 30 of them. And then he'd just dash out. And he hit a place for like the 3rd time and they knew it was him. So instead of catching him, they waited till he started to dash out and they locked. You know how department stores have an outside door and an inside door?
Yeah.
They locked those 2 doors.
They got him in we call it the ray shield, like in episode 1 in between when you're waiting to fight Darth Maul. It's a good move.
So a Magneto prison.
Yeah. So,
wow. Y'all glass.
So he was just in there with 30 North Face coats trying to come up with for an excuse why that was the case, waiting for the cops.
Yeah, that's great.
What did he say? Did he come up with one?
I didn't know him that well, so I don't really know. But like to me, I would say, hey, did I take these out of the store? The cop would go, what? And I go, looks to me like the door's right there. Did I take these out of the store?
Yeah.
Case closed, officer. And I'd walk
that
away.
Little part's the embassy. That's like where there are no laws. You're like, nah, man, I'm in no man's country here. Yeah. I'm in between the store and the world.
Yeah.
He could be like, I'm bringing them back. And, woe is me. I get locked in here on my way to be a good Samaritan. Thanks a lot, this store. The ring, I'll tell you, the ring we had, it was a ShopRite. It was ShopRite. You get as many oranges as you want.
Certain members of my family went down.
Yeah,
in the great. Sister. Well, come on. There's a reason why I said certain members of my family. Could have been a brother and uncle.
Certain members of my family. Oh, yeah. Yeah, in case you forgot, it was your sister.
Long ago. This is so far in the past, I don't think they can get her on these anymore, these charges.
No, they got her.
They got her
the
then.
Charges, and they just fired her. They were like, I think she didn't even do anything bad. I think it was like everyone was stealing, and I think she gave like someone an extra discount or something. But she wasn't into it like me, like I was.
Yeah, I'm not. That's not an open case. They closed that thing. I don't think I'm talking too much out of turn. Yeah. But really, the real cause of the ring, or not the cause, the advantage of the ring, were people buying illegal cigarettes. But if you were someone who didn't have a nicotine problem, you could just rack up cereal and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, no one was like really taking advantage of that for their family. Like, you know, high school's a tough time. You got prom coming up. Parents are working hard. They're like, I don't know if I can afford the limousine,
right?
You know, and baking stuff.
You don't know how proud your mom's going to be when you look at her and you go, "Hey, Mom, I got Thanksgiving this year."
I got some friends in very low places.
Right. Right. What's your feeling on canned goods? All you want.
We got so many non-perishables for Y2K. It's crazy.
That's that's one of my favorite part about like kind of low level, like entry level mafia guys that just hijack trucks that they don't know what's in them. So it's like, well, whatever we get, we gotta sell, you know. Like,
yeah, we'll figure this out.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. You guys want how many Q-tips do you need? 'Cause I got 60 million. I got 60 million Q-tips, and I gotta move them by Thursday.
Every mall, we would trade discounts with each other. If you had like a Hot Topic friend, they'd give you their discount. But Sears, no one wanted to discount there because it was all shit until I got the job in the car audio department, and then everyone was like, "Yo, can you get me a car radio?" And I was like, "Yo, I will steal you a car radio." Yeah. It was wild.
Sears, from what I remember, was mainly patio furniture, and then they had a couple radios and maybe a pair of jeans.
They had cars, TVs, kids' clothes, paint. Hardware, big hardware department, man. Those hardware people were meth heads. All of the people in hardware had that. You know that tight skin where they're like skin people. They're like really ripped, but they got the tight skin. Those are all the hardware people. I don't know what was going on in hardware, but maybe they're all puffing the propane. I don't know, but
I think it stretches your skin.
What tools?
What hardware?
No, certain amphetamines.
Oh yeah,
right.
Just the skin.
Yeah. I think it pulls your skin tight. I don't know what that move is.
Well, I think what it is, I think the move is that you become
collagen.
You become gaunt. You lose all your fat.
Hectic.
You lose all your fat, and so the skin your bones protrude and make your skin taut. Plus, these guys, they may have been smoking. That'll leather your skin up a bit. They may have been tanning. Hard to say.
Right. So I do want to say one more thing about the great ShopRite, when everyone went down at ShopRite. This is like a little known fact, but Taco worked there at the time, and Taco was like one of the only people who didn't go down. And I got to be honest, I would never say this to him. I was always a little disappointed in him, you know, because it was like, man, all these people were stealing, and Taco working in the frozen department, man, clean as a whistle. Or he was running shit so tight, no one knew. But I think Taco was just a straight-laced kind of guy at the time.
What? Can I say this? I'll say Taco, and I'll say because he was him and Kerber were head of the frozen department. Mm-hmm. They worked with a lot of
people in charge of the frozen.
They were both in charge of the frozen. Johnny, I think, had more seniority than Taco did. Taco was newer, but really moved through the ranks because of his high intellect.
He was, a goddamn physics teacher.
Yeah, he's a physics teacher, and you had him, bagging peas. He's going to move up the ranks pretty quick, Yeah. He's going to come up with a system and be like, let me tell you how to get these waffles colder. But anyway, so they worked with a lot of people with criminal records. Mm-hmm. So I think they didn't want to see them ending up back in jail. So I think they kept them on the straight and narrow. They knew not to get involved. What I do find insulting about what you said is I worked at ShopRite at the time, but this all went down. But I was doing my own thing, and it was good because I had my own racket running. So I was great to take some heat off me and what I was doing, which I later got yelled at. And I've talked about this before because on camera, we play a game, me and Jeff Godecker called Umbrella Ball. And this is not one of my prouder moments. I think you guys know this, where we would take those, those marble bouncy balls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love those.
They're great. So, bored out of my mind working there. You would take the umbrella and you would hit the ball, and you'd hit customers with the ball lightly, not not damaging anyone, but there was a point scale system, and obviously old people were more points. I was 17, 16 years old, but they got cameras everywhere in that store, so I they talked to me about that.
They pulled you into the office?
Yeah.
Hey, don't smash balls with our umbrella stock into old women's faces.
Yeah, and I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they went, we have video footage. And I went, that is me.
That's a deep fake.
So I think I might have said, so I assume I'm fired. And I think they went, no, you're not. You're fine. Just don't stop.
You're fired? We lost 90% of the staff for stealing cigarettes.
Exactly.
You're hired.
Exactly. We're just happy you're not stealing things.
Yeah, you're promoted.
Yeah.
Stop doing this, but you're fine.
Anthony,
go ahead, Greg.
No. This is another note on Anthony's career.
I was just gonna. I can't remember. I'd love to hear what you are going to say.
So here's the thing about you stealing, right? I didn't drink till I was 30 because my dad was an alcoholic, right? And I was like, I'm not going to drink because I saw what happened to my dad, right? So I would imagine that in your mind you were like, I'm not going to get into low-level crime because I saw where it led my dad. You know what I mean? Like, we'd stay away from those paths, until you're old enough to know that you can do your own thing.
For sure. Man, beautiful sentiment in that. Unfortunately, I did not know about my father at the time, but so this was a pickle for me because I wanted to yes and you, but then I also wanted to be truthful to the people. So I did go with honesty.
Well, this podcast has never done honesty.
And another thing you don't know, Anthony, you didn't even know till today. Your dad actually started by throwing playground balls at old people. So really, you were walking down the path without even knowing it. Did you ever have that guy that would, was just too much of a thief? Like I remember we left.
Me.
We left, but you knew like what to steal. Like you weren't out of control. Like we left this party, we were running out of this party. And I was never I didn't like stealing stuff. It made me uncomfortable. And, particularly from people, which is something you didn't do, Greg. You stole from corporations, which I'm fine with. But, I didn't stop my friends from doing it, and we left this like private school party and there was this kid, I won't say his name, but he always stole the dad's golf clubs and then would take them to Golf Galaxy and just sell them. Because he was like, yeah, you just walk into the garage. It's really easy, as if everyone else wasn't doing it because they didn't know where golf clubs were, they're always in the garage. You just go in there. So we were
You're not all stealing from your dad?
Yeah. No, it wasn't his dad. We was at a party. And,
sorry.
Yeah. Any party we went to that wasn't our high school, that was like the rich kids' high school, he'd steal the golf clubs almost every time.
Good racket.
Yeah. And so he's stealing these golf clubs. So we're in kind of a hurry. We get in the car and he goes, I got the golf clubs. I'm in the front seat. My buddy's driving. It's a SUV and there's a kid in the back with the golf clubs, not the kid who stole them. And the kid in the back goes, yeah, and I got the dog. The brakes just screech. Just go, what are you talking about? He's got a fucking dog back there. We're not running a hostage ring.
That's kidnapping. Yeah, that's federal. You just got a federal ground.
Yeah, it's kind of criminal mind I like. Here's the thing, though. He's not wrong in some ways because you'd be charged as a juvenile. This kid knows it's a high risk, high reward situation because you're getting a lot for the dog. Chance that you do end up in juvenile detention, but it's not a bad risk to take. I've seen like a documentary or two in there. You can't do too much to those kids. Right. They're still kids. I mean, I'm not saying it's great, but
for us, that's where we draw the line morally. We made him return the dog, and he had to walk it because we were like, well, we got the golf clubs, so we can't go back. You got to take the dog back and just say the dog got out and got out it.
Right. Yeah. Hey, is there a reward for you? You have to go back in there confident, like, I'm here for the reward for your dog.
This is a great plan, Greg. This is a great plan. You mark up wanted posters beforehand. You throw them all around the neighborhood. You steal the dog. You go, I'm claiming the reward. I'm off this poster.
People go, my dog wasn't even missing 2 hours ago. Yeah. Where did these reward signs come from?
Look, I'm not the guy who wrote this. This is your phone number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, pay up right to
a poster, bro. A poster is a poster. Okay, this is clearly printed. This isn't even handwritten. So pay up.
It's a binding document.
Yeah,
man. I don't know, Taco. I mean, Anthony, you tell me if you were here for this story. I don't know if you were around for this one, but I'm with Taco. I'll incinerate Taco on this one.
Incinerate.
I'm gonna I'm gonna burn his ass.
Lord, you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
burn
melt him.
like a pallet of cardboard box.
My God.
So I'm pretty sure it was a Mike, Taco, me, and I think the horse was mixed up. This is one of the rare events where my South End friends had met with my North End friends, and whenever they got together, it was explosive. It was incinerative. All right, so this was a wild move.
Not to cut you off here, did you have a word of the day?
I do. It's incinerator, and I'm promised if I use it 6 times, I get a kiss on the lips from an old Russian whore. It's a website. You gotta check it out. Anyway, yeah, they give you words and then they have Russian whore. Okay, anyway.
Oh man, you just reminded me of a sad story, but you continue.
Taco and I, and a couple of friends, we roll up to Burger King, and man, we walk in. If we don't see an actual size Shaquille O'Neal cutout of him holding some burger, were you there for this, Anthony?
I wasn't, but I did a similar move with Jafet in college at a Radio Shack.
Okay, yeah. Shaq had cutouts in every store. And so we see this thing, and Taco was like, damn, I think we should, I would love to have that. I think he was trying to make up for not stealing at ShopRite. He was trying to win me over, see he was bad.
Yeah.
And I go, Taco, you want this thing? I was like, all right, you get the door. I'm going to do a smash and grab. I'm going to rip this motherfucker. I'm going to pull this guy out. We're going to you just open. Mike had the car running. We'll throw him in the trunk. We'll jump in. We'll be out in 3 seconds flat, right? So he's like, all right, cool, right? There's like 3 cars, right? Everyone's at the door. I look. I go to grab the thing. First of all, if you don't think Burger King is anticipating people trying to steal the Shaquille O'Neal, they are. Okay, that thing was nailed to the ground. I ended up ripping his legs off, like his feet. Just like I had to rip. Like I was like, Jesus Christ! Rip the thing out. We bolt through the doors. We throw it in the car. Our cars take off, and we're like, we are in the clear. No, we are not. A Ford F-150, some goddamn hero cop, comes fucking wheels spinning around the corner. Tries to cut us off. He's trying to like kill us in his cars. We're racing from this guy. He doesn't know we do a 3-car kind of. Everyone, we're like, we gotta meet at the rendezvous. Scatter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure blasted through some red lights. I think I'm in Taco's car. He fucking pulls into a driveway. Turn the lights off. We lay down. Expedition flies by us. We lose him. I don't want to make fun of somebody we were with. I'm not gonna say who. We were like, well, then the spoils, go to you. We got it. And they were like, nah, man, it's too hot. I don't want it. They didn't want the shack anymore. They felt the merch was too hot. So that thing, yeah, we ended up bringing that thing to the horse. He put it in his garage where his dad went, Burger King Shaquille O'Neal? Everything checks out to me. He loved it. Kept it there. No one gave a shit.
Great.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because it was a life size.
Yes.
So it was tough to hide that puppy, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
7 feet.
I thought for sure that story was going to be. It turned out it was actually Shaquille O'Neal.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You don't think that guy's up for an adventure? He would gladly go. Yeah, my escape story with the Shaquille O'Neal cardboard cutout, not nearly as exciting. It was on the heels because I remember you had done that. By the way, if I could say something about the Shack Burger, they touted the sourdough bread on that thing as if there never was. Burger King had invented sourdough bread. I mean, it was insane.
I remember that.
They got this thing called sourdough.
Yeah, they were just like, and get this on sourdough. What? Like,
what am I in France?
Yeah. Unreal. As if the yeast community was new to the yeast community.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so Jafet and I, we see Shaq and Radio Shack. I remembered that story that you guys had recently done this, and because I was like, this would be great for our dorm. So Jafet, me or him, I think I distracted the one guy in Radio Shack, and he walked behind it, and we walked out. And I remember we really did it stealthily, and then we locked eyes with a mall kiosk person.
Yeah.
And they looked right at us, and they just went, "It's fine."
Yeah. We don't care.
We don't care at all. And then that was in our dorm for years. And there's one picture of my grandma took a picture posing with it. That's the only picture I don't have, which I might have an artist do a rendering one day. But
wait a minute, you said that's the one. Every picture you ever taken,
in the world.
You've kept every picture.
I've captured, all. I've documented her everywhere. That's the only piece of lost footage, unfortunately, is that when she visited for Thanksgiving and put her arm around his waist. She was so small. But he would, because some people would have sex in the parking lot. Our window was facing the parking lot. And sometimes people would fuck in the parking lot. Right. So we face Shaq out the window.
Keep his eye on things.
Keep his eye on things. Of course.
It's like, hey, I'm sorry, honey. I just can't get it up with Shaq looking at me.
Yeah. Or they go the opposite. They go, we got to go over there because don't ask about it.
I stole a Taco Bell rug. You know they have the foot wipe rugs, and it was great.
Oh, sure.
And it got stolen from my dorm, and I was so mad. Not because I cared really about losing the thing, but it was the principle of I had the balls to steal it from a Taco Bell, and you're doing an easy steal.
Yeah,
you're doing a steal. You're doing a fucking pussy steal. Go to your own. Yeah. Go to Taco Bell and get it like a man, or leave my shit alone.
No, what you gotta do? You gotta call Taco Bell and be like, "Hey, man, I found your rug. It's a 3B."
Yeah, well,
I don't get the Taco Bell police on those guys.
If you think I knew who those guys were, Greg, I spent literally. I mean, this is probably why I graduated with a less than 1 grade point average. I spent the entire rest of my college trying to find that goddamn rug and the culprits and doing a lot of drugs, but both.
That's so funny.
Not rollerblading.
I think this is my only other piece of stealing that I have access to as a story. Someone stole my laptop.
Hold on. That's your phrasing. That's the phrasing your mind decided to go. This is the only other piece of stealing I have access to as a story. That's the phrasing your brain thought would be the best way to explain.
Yeah. Well, I have other, I have other. They don't make for good stories. One time I accidentally stole a pack of baseball cards. I felt so guilty. I returned the cards and. That was it. That's it. I even in that moment, my instinct as a storyteller was to put something in there, but nothing happened. So that's why I said access. But yeah, weird way to say it. Probably
explains nothing. But go on.
What I mean is, this story is a story. I don't even know if this one's a story, to be honest with you. My laptop was stolen sophomore year, and it was an in-house job. We knew that. There was somebody in the dorm. Yeah, sure. So Fed and I went door to door with a brick.
As one would.
That's a problem. He was a great guy. It sucks that he did what he did, because he was a good guy. Fun, but and we really we acted like we were the victims. You know what I mean? Like
you were.
Yeah, we were, but some innocent kid who's staying up all night trying to study for biology exam. That was a 6'4", 250-pound kid. I look like his little boss. We have a brick in our hands, and we go, knock, knock. Did you steal my laptop?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was incredible.
You were looking for payment. That's as you were saying. You were defending yourself. I don't think that you were in the right. You got to go door to door the goddamn brick. And I think you know what you do. When you find the person, you take the brick and you smash the computer. And then you go, that's how fucking crazy I am. And now I'm going to smash your head just to teach you a lesson.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it turns out it wasn't an in-house job. There was just someone sneaking into the dorm room, and then security caught him months later or whatever. But he already fenced the laptop. He didn't have him on him anymore.
Well, I will say what is surprisingly, it's somewhat common, but it's surprisingly not as just vastly widespread as it should be. If you're someone listening to our podcast looking to break into
a home
theft
or literally break into things,
I will say something that I find widely overlooked is the great ease. Now, I think post-school shooting age, things have locked down a little bit, but the great ease with which you can get into a college dorm and just steal about 50 computers, because it's really just, as far as I can tell, you could just walk in, half the people leave their doors open, they go down to the end of the hall, talk to someone else. You could steal whatever you want in there. Yeah. Why aren't there criminals roaming the halls of our colleges at all times?
People used to do that with airplanes before 9/11. You could just show up in a suit with a briefcase, waved at a flight attendant, just get on the plane. People would be like, I'm sure he had a ticket. He's such a handsome man.
Yeah. You'll figure it out in the air. How hard can it be to fly these things? You know?
What are you gonna
Sure,
do?
Yeah.
No, go
They
ahead.
must label the buttons.
I kind of just meant you could just steal a flight. You're talking about stealing the flight, like
Oh,
piloting the ship.
That's
I'm pretty sure that back then you could just confidently just get on and sit in first class, and people would go, "He looks like he should be here." But I do love that you think you could just take an F-16 up in the air, a Boeing 525.
I thought, criminals. You get such a rush. You get such a rush. You get such a rush when you steal. I don't have a lot of history in it, but just through Greg and his nature, you seem like you get such a rush out of it that there's also what follows is a sudden surge of confidence. So I think you go, I just got away with that. What else can I do? I could fly a plane, probably.
Yeah.
I see the natural progression of it.
Let me tell you one of the most confident steal jobs when it was like right before I retired from the stealing game was because I had become so goddamn confident and insane at stealing that this was the move. I was at Mountain Creek and I cased a joint. They had like the buy the jackets snowboard shop. One girl working there, no security. This is just the shop. And and these kind of places, they make so much money that they're just kind of like, they're not worried too much about the shop. So I go on into the shop and I put this jacket on. It was like a thin little zip up hoodie kind of jacket. And the lady working there was just like this really cute girl, short hair. And I just go, I put it on and I go, how does this look? And she goes, that looks really good. And I went, awesome. See you later. And I just walked out. I just walk out with the thing, right? Never in my life. Walk back in later and went, hey, can I get your number sometime?
Wow.
She goes, did you pay for that jacket? And I went, I really don't know.
Right.
And she gave me her phone number, but they never answered. So I don't understand because we never went on a date and I never actually talked to her. Maybe she didn't want to date a dirty thief who would steal your jacket, steal your heart.
Yeah.
But that was at that point I went,
God.
but I would get such a rush. You'd get such a goddamn rush. I just put it on and went, this is me. This is mine. And I just walked out. It was, and then walked back in. Oh man. It was like, it was when I was at my primo confidence man movies.
Well, there's that kid, and there's always talks that they're going to make a movie of his life, but I think the problem is he can't really sell his life story because he owes like a lot of money. But this kid in the Pacific Northwest, Colton something, the Barefoot Bandit, if you could look his name up, Mycicle, that just fucking taught himself. He started off like breaking into like fancy vacation homes, and he wouldn't really take much. He'd just eat and sort of hang out there. And then he just taught himself how to fly airplanes and started stealing airplanes.
Wow.
And then eventually flew an airplane to the Bahamas. Colton Harris Moore, is his name. And they caught him in the Bahamas. He flew from Washington to the Bahamas just like a 15-year-old that taught himself how to fly a plane. So it's like, don't give me an excuse that it's hard to be a pilot. This guy just taught himself out of a book.
That's so funny, man. They find him in the Bahamas. He's just having so much sugar.
He's eating candy. Mama's not around here.
Yeah.
I'm drinking as much Jolt Cola as I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a kid. That's exactly
that's
what I
him.
pictured.
That's this kind of stuff. And he was like, he had a tough life. And so he was kind of on his own. So he'd just steal stuff like that. Like there's a picture of him. He'd just steal like a Mercedes shirt like that because it made him feel good. Like he wasn't doing much harm. Like he was just he's kind of like, he must have been a genius because he taught himself how to fly planes like just with a book. So I don't know. But that's going to wrap it up.
Wait. No.
Okay.
Wait, I got to tell you about this, and that's not that big of a deal. But the thing you're saying about I learned this today about that law that you were like that he can't do it because he can't make money or whatever.
Yeah.
It's called there's the Son of Sam law, right?
Right.
There's this woman now who's she's got a Netflix show, and this is the first time they're using the Son of Sam law because they're gonna she conned a bunch of people or did something. I don't know all the information, but the Son of Sam law allows them to take her money that she's getting from Netflix and pay back all the people she ripped off. So I was just very excited to find out about this. Like it's like a law that's like, yeah, if you've you're the coolest guy ever, the coolest thief, and you're like,
Sure.
hey, I went to jail, but I'm out. But you're like, yeah, and now I'm gonna sell, make $1 billion. They can just like OJ. I don't know if 2001 is the last time they used it, so I don't think they did it for OJ.
Well, OJ they may not have had to do it because, well, first of all, he wasn't convicted of murder, but Ron Goldberg's family won the civil case against him. So he was civilly responsible for some amount of money. So I think the proceeds of his book had to go to paying that off.
They never got a dime. He said it in the documentary. The Goldmans were like, we still never got a dime for that. But it says, I did it. Their big thing with the book was it had to say like, if had to be real small on the book. And it just says, I did it, OJ. And they never got a dime from it.
But
they were
see,
that's money back.
That's interesting because it shouldn't matter if he did it or not, because the civil case, he still owes them money. He lost the civil case. Yeah.
He owes them money, and the book money was supposed to go to them, but lawyers
somehow,
like they're just like, well, I'll get it to you Thursday, and they've been doing that for 15 years.
Great. That's going to wrap it up time-wise, I think. I would just like to thank you guys for listening. If you get a chance, follow us on all social media platforms at the Rad DudeCast. Check out the YouTube channel. We've really upped our lighting, camera. Greg's background looks better than it ever has before, and it's always been juicy. So check out our YouTube. If you want some merch, this week I'm going to choose to promote. Get yourself a Greg Stone fanny pack. Okay, these things are phenomenal. Fuck. Art by Eric Bergstrom, teespring.com/stores/Rad DudeCast. Maybe /store. I don't know. Just fucking find it. It's good stuff. And then yes, it is stores. And then if you want a few extra episodes a week, go to patreon.com/Rad DudeCast. Get involved there. I don't have anything. I think at the end of February, I will be in Indiana. I'll keep you updated as that comes closer. And I got a baby coming real soon. And I'm going to tell you that's actually my plug. I'm plugging my baby coming out January.
Crazy.
It's going to be a little at first. I hope it gets bigger.
We'll see.
Can't wait. Wait, I have to say something before I forget. And I didn't ask you. I want to tell you guys this before the podcast. So Mayor, you guys can come. You're definitely invited, but I didn't want to presume that you would do it. But on New Year's Day, I think Mike Suarez will be there. I'm pretty sure he's doing it with me. But we're gonna do a watch along with Wonder Woman, and we're gonna watch Wonder Woman 1984 watch along for Patreon subscribers. Anthony and Brendan might be there. I don't know. I didn't ask them yet.
Brendan,
I didn't say. Yeah, I didn't want to count you guys in or out. But I was like, I'm doing it on New Year's. I think 5:00. We're going to do it. More details to come, but it's going to be like we're all going to sync our TVs up and shit and then watch it and everything, the details are coming. But we're doing a watch along with Wonder Woman 1984 on January 1st, 5 p.m. More details to follow on the Instagram, I think, or something.
That sounds good.
You never shouted out Mike, by the way. Sorry, Anthony. You said you wanted to shout out Mike. The first.
I wanted to
just
say hi to Mike. That wasn't about the podcast. I just literally wanted to say hi to Mike.
Hi, Anthony.
Hey, man, what's up? I hadn't seen you. We didn't get a chance to talk since I got back. Really. We got to do the intro for the beginning. All right. We're three comedians.
You gotta wait. You don't just fire off without asking anybody if they're ready.
All right.
Do you have any plugs? And then we'll do it. And then we'll do it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Anthony, why don't you do your ending?
January
ending the
8th,
episode
9th,
first.
it's some Lincoln, Nebraska. It's I think the Tata Theater.
Say that again because you got cut off. January 8th and 9th.
Nebraska, January 8th and 9th at the Tata Theater. Oh, it's probably Tada. Tada Theater.
Now the theater people are gonna be like, Anthony, why is nobody here? We didn't think you were the biggest draw, but we didn't think no one. Well, I've just been saying Tata.
Anyway, all right. So see you later.
The Rad DudeCast is hosted by Anthony DeVito, Brendan Eyre, and Greg Stone. Original music by Brian Zippert. Produced by Mike Suarez. Executive producers Brendan Eyre, Greg Stone, and Anthony DeVito. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.